This is from a video I did not too long ago. And what exactly is that sound that my fingers are making? How would you search for it? Well, I guess the idea is that my fingers are stiff and need to be loosened up. So I think I would start with something creaky. I knew I had a set I got from noise.com called Things That Go Creak. So, how do I remember that? I have a whole series that I use all the time, things that go click, squish, snap, crunch, pop, all of that. It's very useful. So, it wasn't hard for me to remember that I had things that go creak. So, I could audition all of these creaky sounds in that collection and try to find the best one for my video, but I'm not going to do that because I have a way that will save me time and get a better result. Now, I'm going to use a program from Sonokinetic called Ibrido Zero. It's a Kontakt or complete control application that loads in my DAW. I drag all of the things that go creak files in there right from my desktop. And I'm dragging them in right here. So I'm going to go ahead and load one. Now if I play my keyboard, it makes a sound. Now I can load something else up. Now I've got a layer. I can load a third one. Now these things will allow me to randomize. So what I can do with this is just hit record and start making different things. Ibrido Zero is a very powerful program, and I've just scratched the surface of what it can do, so I'm just going to show you that if you click Show All Controls, I can randomize the volume, I can randomize the pan, and all these other things you see there and more. With this particular thing, I'm just going to output this simple thing to audio and drag it into my editing program. There's another, more expensive program called Soundweaver. It comes from Boom Library, and it makes the process of combining sounds a lot easier to do. It's a standalone. You can't load it into your DAW. It is also a search engine. It's indexed the over 30,000 sound effects that I own. So I'm going to start a project here, and I'm going to call it Hands. And I'm going to create a new project. And as you can see, it's got a folder for all of my sound effects. I could have just done it for that creaky sound effects library from Noise that I showed you before, but I'm going to do everything, and I'm going to make a keyword with creak. I've got 3 layers, and I'm going to start randomizing. And here they are. I'll randomize it. Now, if I like something, I can make a snapshot out of it. So, and I can keep doing this. Then I could also add another group, and in this time, I'm just going to add snap as a keyword, and we're going to randomize that. And now you can see at the bottom, there's this other group with the snap sound. So I'm going to solo that. Okay, there's just like a little snap there, and I'm lock that. And it just adds that little snap in there. Gives it just a little bit something different. When I'm done. I have a number of ways to bring it out. So this says tracks. Let's say I want to bring all 4 of these tracks out to Cubase. I'm going to hit this button to prepare for drag and drop. I'm just going to use this hand and I'm going to bring it into Cubase, and there you can see there are all of those 4 tracks that I've been using. I can also do random variations of this particular sound here, but I could also do snapshots, which you can see in Cubase. Those are the 4 snapshots that I made, completely mixed down and put into one file. Now let's say I want to do a new age piece of music and I want to have some jungle sounds underneath it. Now, if any of you have worked much with ambient sounds, or particularly with free ambient sounds, you know it's pretty hard to get them to work exactly the way you want them to. Like there might be too much birds at the wrong time, or just certain kinds of sounds that don't fit in with your overall project, even though most of it does. You could just keep searching for the perfect one, or edit them until you're happy. But here's what I do. Now, in this case, I'm going to get my jungle sounds from Free to Use Sounds, which is actually a channel in the Bandcamp Musical Social Network. For $21, I got over a terabyte of sounds. And what's nice about it is that I only have to download what I want. So I do a search for jungle, and these come up. And I'm going to use this one, which is called Nature Jungle Ambience. Will I then audition every single sound I've downloaded and try to find the perfect one? I could, but I don't find that it's necessary. There's another system I have that helps me get the exact result I want without doing that. I'm going to begin by loading up Kontakt, and I'm going to the folder where I have all my jungle sounds. And then I'm going to hit this little icon here and open up a new instrument. So this is a blank Kontakt instrument. And when I hit this key, it takes me inside. Now I'm going to click the mapping editor. And here are all the notes. And what I'm going to do, I'm selecting all my sounds and I'm just going to drag them in. Now when I go up and down, it spreads it over many notes, but I want to do it so that there's one of these samples will be on each key. And I let go, and there I have it, and I can save the instrument as jungle sounds. When it's done, you can see there's an NKI file. When I load it, what I have now is a playable instrument. And I can layer these sounds, I can do whatever I want with them. Now, another thing I could do would be to create another Kontakt instrument, exotic birds. And same thing, I'm going to save it. So now you have an exotic birds Kontakt instrument. And you can use your keyboard controller to play and layer those bird sounds along with your jungle instrument or anything else. This approach could be used with any ambience. Like, for example, if you wanted to do a New York street scene, you could have cars and buses and construction noise and horns honking, people talking, whatever. And you'd be able to play all that and hear how these sounds resonate with each other. If you don't have full Kontakt, this approach works the same way in any sampler. And if you don't own a sampler, I put a link below to a lot of free ones. Thanks for listening. This is Tiger the Frog.